What's up traders, welcome to Failure to Displace, and in this video we're going to take a look at this morning's London session on EURUSD, where I did things a little bit differently. I recorded the entire session and I'll play through now the highlights and the analysis as price was trading live and how I ended up with this position taking a 3-hour long trade taking out Asia high. So let's jump into the live highlights now of the trading session and see how we ended up with this trade. I thought while price is live I would switch the screen recording on and just go through my thoughts at this point in time. So we had a missed entry here. Coming to the charts, we can see we swept the Asia low quite aggressively at 120 and then pulled back into the range. So we're currently on a 5-minute chart. And what I noticed was the wonderful unicorn entry on the 5-minute. So price has pulled down, come up, broken structure here, leaving this bullish breaker block here. So I was anticipating a pullback into the breaker block and then reaching for these relative equal highs, which I've highlighted here. So that was my initial thought process. We had pulling a fib from the current session low up to the swing high we created here, optimal trade entry. If we drop down onto the 1-minute time frame, so I wanted a confirmation around this point. You can see that the confirmation happened in the 1-minute breaker block, which is here. So price wicked into the 1-minute breaker block, also optimal trade entry of this move, and then has rocketed away, unfortunately not giving me an entry. It's come and taken out the relative equal highs already. So we had a breaker block here, a balanced price range just below the breaker block on the 1-minute time frame. So I was hoping for some kind of entry model at this point, specifically a pullback into this fair value gap, or using this as a potential breaker here. I did preset an order, so if price did tap me in on this candle, I would have taken an entry targeting these highs, which would have been lovely, but unfortunately we left a fair value gap and price just continued higher now. So this is one of those frustrating situations where the analysis was correct, we just didn't get presented with an entry model. Now I'm not planning on trying to chase this. Looking at this, in fact, on my higher time frame analysis, I do believe that we could potentially see a reversal at this point. So we've got a fair value gap on the 5-minute in between these two candles. So price is just reaching up to this fair value gap. Obviously, we're in very bearish market structure over recent weeks. We've got a order block here, we've got a breaker block on the 5-minute and a fair value gap. So I'm just monitoring to see if we could potentially get a reversal now, because we've created almost relative equal lows between London and Asia. So London's slightly lower, so it has swept liquidity, but not by much. And we also have a higher time frame level of liquidity here. So this is a previous daily low, I believe. Let me just get rid of these to clean it up. So this is a previous daily low. On the 4-hour chart, it's a swing low. So we've got a 4-hour swing low here from 9 AM. So this is a New York AM session low that was put in on March the 16th, sorry. We're getting quite close to that level now. So I'm expecting potentially a continuation down to sweep this liquidity before a reversal. So what I'm monitoring at the moment is just how price is going to react once we tap this fair value gap. See if we can potentially get a short trade to come and sweep the session low. Now I should also mention this short position that I'm considering is, I'll pull that fib again for you so it's a bit clearer. This is optimal trade entry from the Asia high to the current daily low. Our optimal trade entry, which is the 618, is just what we are reacting from now. So potential for a short position, optimal trade entry, fair value gap, breaker block, coming down, continuing the bearish trend to take out this sell side liquidity below us. So keep an eye on this to see how it plays out. So this is the start of the 230 candle now. So we've kind of built relative equal highs here, consolidating. What I'd like to see is sweep these into this fair value gap before price drops lower. At the moment, this consolidation, there's no real direction in this consolidation, so I'm not interested in taking a trade in this area. I need to see, well, I'm hoping to see a aggressive move out of this zone and then an aggressive move back into trade lower. Mark these as relative equal lows that we're just manufacturing now. I don't want to get involved in tight consolidation like this. I need to see some displacement out of the range, back through the range, hopefully, for a target to come to that sell side below us. And so another 15 minutes has passed. We've swept these lows. These highs are still intact. There's no trade here though. You can see small candles, no displacement. New 15 candles just opening up. This essentially is just widening out. I'm not really interested in going long at this point. So we're just into 3 AM now. It's 8 AM UK time. Price has obviously come down, taken these highs. Looks to me like it's going to go for the Asia high now. So we're not getting that reversal that I was expecting. So my eyes are drawn now to liquidity. Asia high, New York. We've got relative equal highs from the New York PM session. So I could potentially be looking for a reversal at these levels instead. The breaker has done its job. 15 minute has been traded through. We've swept the weekly low. London has put in the current weekly low, so we've taken yesterday's low already and we're pulling back in the range. We shall keep monitoring, see if a setup presents itself. So we've just come into 8:15. We've got the draw on liquidity. I believe is going to be taking Asia high, potentially taking New York PM session high. So we're going to be looking for the Cameron model, which will be a 5-minute sweep of liquidity or a 1-minute sweep of liquidity. So what have we got swing low wise? We've taken these relative equal lows here. The retracement of this leg is back at optimal trade entry. We could have this as our potential breaker block. Which we've tapped. We've got a fair value gap there, so if this fair value gap fails, it'll be potentially an inversion fair value gap. See if we get a closure through that. 20 seconds left. Looks like a good close, so we'll mark this as our inversion fair value gap. We have another fair value gap there, which means that you could take your entry long position here, just being tagged in, 50% off at 1-to-1, and then target in the Asia highs for the ultimate draw on liquidity. Doesn't look great. It's closed through that inversion fair value gap, so that's not a brilliant start. Back in the green. We're back above the inversion fair value gap. See if we can get our risk-free 1-to-1 here. I would at least expect this swing high to get taken. So there's 1-to-1, so we're now risk-free. I'm going to be holding the rest to hopefully take out the Asia high for a 3R. So nice successful entry there. based on the open of the new 15-minute inversion fair value gap failed. So I was taking the fair value gap failed, so I was taking it based on the inversion fair value gap, expecting at least a run on this high, potentially targeting the session high. So we have now taken this liquidity. It's currently 1.3 up. Taking a run now aggressively for that Asia high. So getting just a nice rejection off this fair value gap. We should hopefully see this close through. We've had closure through this bearish fair value gap now, so it's showing us that bearish fair value gaps haven't got respected at that point, so hopefully we'll close through this one, taking out our Asia high. If you were doing the Cameron model, you would have closed this out by now. So Cameron is the 1-to-1, depending on how you were setting up your profits and take stop losses and take profits. But I would like to see a run on this, so I'm going to hold this longer for a 3R. There's the volume coming in. A nice strong close through that level, hopefully to sweep our Asia high. So we've closed above 50% of this fair value gap, which is a good sign. I respected that 50% nicely, so we just want a nice quick drive now up to take this high out. I'll swing high just above there as well. I'm just checking just to see if the Asia high is in a logical swing position, which got relative equal highs on the 15, so it does make sense, plus this wick high here as well. This may have been a logical place to take profit of this swing high. Get out for a nice 2.6. Maybe just take a profit a point or so below the swing high, just to be safe. 3R, perfect 3R. This is the frustrating part of trading for me. This is the part that gets me worked up. We've taken this. I'll be tempted just to close at that point, but I'm really trying to work on my patience to hold out for the full targets, because I'm always closing too early. Leave this recording now. See if we can take out this Asia high. You see solid reaction from the 50% of this fair value gap. There's take profit hit, perfect. Lovely 3R trade. Very similar to the Cameron model, so we're looking at a sweep of 1 minute liquidity. Our draw on liquidity we identified as the Asia high. My entry wasn't on the actual fair value gap, which Cameron's model would have been entering on this fair value gap. Mine was on the basis of this inverted fair value gap. So when this fair value gap failed, took an entry on the inversion fair value gap, expecting a run higher, at least for this liquidity. So I was quite confident that we'd get a 1-to-1 to go risk-free, which we did do. And then obviously as we were risk-free, you can leave this to run now for the higher targets, which is taken. So there is your 3R trade, live execution with live walk through the actual session. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, leave the video a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll do my best to get back to you. And likewise, if you're enjoying this kind of content and want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing. I am dropping videos every single day. It'd be fantastic to have you on board. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.